this is Jamie Magritte. Welcome to Jamie's Craft Table. Today I'm going to show you how I made this card. You'll see it's very similar to one that I did previously. This is a winter version. So let's get started. I'm using Beauty of Friendship. I'm going to be using this stamp, and this stamp. Now if you don't want to use any other stamps, you could use this one as well. But I'm bringing in this Welcoming Woods for these snowflakes. I used Penguin Place snowflakes on this one, but I like these ones better, so I'm going to use these. Okay. And we have 4 by 2.5 inch piece of white, 4 1/4 by 2 3/4 inch piece of Balmy blue. There's 2 pieces of the Pattern Party Designer Series paper. One is 4 by 5 1/4 and one is 2.5 by 4. We have a 4 1/4 by 5.5 inch piece of Balmy blue, and then our card base, 5 1/2 by 8 1/2, scored and folded at 4 1/4. Okay. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to bring in, and ink colors. I have Evening Evergreen, Pacific Point, Shaded Spruce, and Soft Suede. First thing I'm going to do is bring in this piece here. This is the 2.5 by 4 inch piece of the Designer Series paper. And I'm going to bring in my snips. And I'm going to cut a hill. I'm just going to do a random hill. Doesn't have to be anything fancy. Like that. This piece we're not going to use, but this one we are. Now I'm going to bring in my piece of white. Hopefully you can see that. And I'm going to place this down about 1 inch from the bottom. Doesn't have to be perfect, but it gives us a hill in the background here. And I'm going to bring in my blue blending brush and the Pacific Point ink. I'm going to get some ink. I'm going to tap off onto my white paper first just to get the harshness off. And then I'm going to blend right up to the edge of this paper, so it's getting a little bit of blue on the top of this edge, and it's getting blue in the sky as well. It doesn't have to be perfectly blended by any means. Just gives a little bit of character. Okay, let me take that away. You'll see you've got that nice sky. Okay, now let's close this up for a moment. And I'm going to take the tree part and the soft suede. I'm going to ink up. I'm not going to ink up most of the stem. I'm just going to ink up to like about there. So I'm just going to leave it hanging off the edge there. A little bit better than that. Okay, that's all inked. And that's going to be my branches for my tree. I'm just going to pick a spot and I'm going to stamp it. Okay, awesome. We're done with that color. Now we're going to come in with this one that is more solid. and the shaded spruce ink. Ink that up. Okay, I'm going to hover over the top of this. I want a little bit of that stem to show, but not much. And I'm going to stamp. Okay, perfect. We're done with that color. I love the detail in that. It's so pretty. And we're going to come in with the evening evergreen. Look that up. And then we're going to hover over. I'm not sure there's a right or a wrong. We're just going to hover over and stamp. It's going to make it look like a pine tree, hopefully. Okay, now we're going to come in with the Pacific Point and the snowflakes. We're going to stamp snowflakes, and I'm going to do first and second and third generation. There's one more over here, I think. Okay. And I want a little bit to be going over the snow here. So I'm just going to do like that. Okay. That's all the stamping. Let's bring in the rest of the pieces. Now on the back of this piece, I'm going to put dimensionals. Take those backs off. This is much fuller than the other one. I think I put too many snowflakes. I would probably put less snowflakes, but it looks pretty good in the camera. It's just very busy in real life. Okay, and this is going to get lined up with the bottom edge of this paper. So line up the bottom edge and that side. There we go. It's hanging over just a hair here. So I'm going to trim that off. Okay. This is going to get mounted to the 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inch piece of Balmy blue. And for that, I'm going to just use wet glue. It's 1/4 inch smaller than the Balmy blue piece. Oops, scooch that over here. That's why I like this wet glue, because if I get it on wrong, I can still scooch it. If I can hold the blue paper. There we go. This is going to get mounted to the front of the card. It's the same size as the front of the card. piece that we stamped is going to get mounted to the 4 1/4 by 2 3/4 inch piece of Balmy blue. Okay, oh, I made a mistake. Shouldn't have glued this on yet because I forgot to do my ribbon. See if I can get it off. Not without tearing it. Okay, so we'll do it differently. Well, I can get it up so I can get it up underneath it, but let's put some dimensionals on the back of this one. Use these edges as well. That's probably good. Let's put this other little bit in the middle here. Okay, now I've got a piece of the gingham ribbon. I've already got it on glue dots. It's just a little bit longer than the front of the card, so I can wrap it around. And I want to glue this down on here. Oh, I know what I did wrong. This doesn't need dimensionals on the bottom because this is already popped. So let's take these off the bottom here. It's been a while since I designed this card. Put glue at the bottom and dimensionals at the top. That's going to get centered on the front of the card. Put it down a little bit. There we go. Now this ribbon has the glue dots on the ends. It should have been put on before we put this piece on the card. I forgot to do it. It's an inch longer, it's probably 5 1/4 inches or 5 1/2 inches, something like that. Glue there, stretch it, putting it between the blue piece and the card base, and I'll have to add some more glue. Whoops, that's very crooked. Let's see if we can straighten that out. Maybe, maybe not. Okay, add some more glue here since I got this all tore apart. Come on, glue. Glue that back down. Okay, then I have a bow. I have a glue dot on it. We're going to glue that bow down. And I'm going to take another glue dot and I'm going to actually put it under the ribbon, under the bow, to hold it in place. I might put a couple more on there too. Might as well. Since I forgot to glue it down the right way, I'll just add the glue dots to help hold it in place. Oops, it's stuck to my scissors. Well, I'm batting 1,000 with this card. You'd think I hadn't made a video before. More here. On this side. There we go. Okay, now I've cut out some snowflakes. These are from the Giving Gifts dies, but you can use any snowflakes you want. And I've got them on glue dots. Put one here. Put one up here. One over here. And then I've got a couple rhinestones. Oh, one just popped off. I'm going to put the rhinestones in the center of the snowflakes. Excuse me. Let's finish this up. Bring in these last two stones here. And they already have glue on them. What did I just do with them? Well, this is what I was reaching for. There we go. There's the card we just made together. Here's the one I did previously. This was when my evening evergreen was brand new. It was much darker. And here's the one I did in the spring. With the summer flowers. Well, thank you for joining me today at Jamie's Craft Table. I hope you have a great rest of your day. I hope you can find a little bit of time to play with some stamps, ink, and paper.